Key signatures. Key signatures are symbols that are drawn right next to the clef in music, and key signatures tell you the tonality of a piece of music. We use key signatures because it basically minimizes the number of accidentals required to notate music. It makes the writing process easier, puts a little more responsibility on the performer on knowing the key signatures and those scales that equate themselves to those key signatures. But it also makes it a little easier and cleaner to read as well. So for this purpose of this video, I'm just going to write a few of the key signatures and some of the scales that coincide with it, and then I'll close up with the circle of fourths and fifths and how that all kind of works together. So you can tell right now I already have a key signature for C major. I'll just draw the scale here, and this is how I would like my students to start off with, is writing the scales first with the accidentals and then with the key signature. Well, C major is the easiest one because there are no sharps or flats. But that's our starting point for now. Let's add a sharp. So let's go up a fifth from C. C, D, E, F, G. Starting on C, count 5, go up to G. So here let's start and draw a G major scale. It's assumed at this point that you can already write the major scales using accidentals based on the tonal relationship of a major scale. Having said that, G major, you will need a F sharp. So for the key signature, just put the F sharp right there. And then that eliminates the use of, or need rather, of notating F as F sharp in the music. You can just write the F without the accidental because the key signature takes care of it. Let's add a couple more sharps. Well, one at a time I should say. A fifth up from G, G, A, B, C, D. So D major, F sharp because it's in the key signature, A, B. We need a C sharp there. That relationship, all we always know as the leading tone, I'm just write LT, leading tone, it needs to be a half step. So put a C sharp there. C sharp here because the key signature tells us so. One more sharp key, and then we'll explore the flats. A fifth above D lead us to A major. C sharp's in the key signature, so is F sharp. We need a G sharp. Pardon my sloppiness on that last note there. G sharp. There it is. There's a certain common practice that my students need to memorize, and hopefully you can tell with my sloppiness on the tablet here, that the way you write your time, I'm sorry, not your time, your key signatures. For the purposes of my Introductory to Music Theory course, you only need to know up to 7 sharps and 7 flats. In fact, you probably won't ever run into any more than 7 sharps or 7 flats. But you need to know these keys. G major, D major, that's A major, E major. You can always, this is another hint that that was told to me many years ago, that the furthest right sharp in the key signature, that acts as the leading tone in that key. So this is D sharp. D sharp is a leading tone in E major. It tells me 4 sharps is E major. B major, A sharp is a leading tone. F sharp major, E sharp is a leading tone, and one more. C sharp major, B sharp is a leading tone. You don't write G sharp down here or E sharp down here. And definitely not B sharp down there. What's marked in red on the screen is what is common practice for writing those accidentals. Let's check out some of the flats. Now before we used going up a fifth For all the flat keys, we'll go up a fourth. I want to move a little bit faster for the sake of time of this video. Oh, and let's just do it in bass clef too. We should know how to do this in treble and bass clef. So C major is as written, so we're going to go up a fourth from C. C, D, E, F. One flat. Here's our F major scale in bass clef. F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. That is our key signature right there. Albeit a little sloppy. I apologize. I'm doing my best with this tablet. Can you tell I'm not a graphic designer? Next one, a fourth up from F is going to be, funny as it is, B flat major with an E flat. So you just write that E flat over there. Moving on, let's continue writing up to 7 flats. That's E flat major. I'm sorry, that's B flat major, I apologize. E flat major is next, haha. Down there, that's an A flat, that's the 4th scale degree. Now, like there is a simple way to find the key with sharps, it's actually an easier way to find the keys in flats. You look at the second to last flat in the key signature, and that tells you the key. 3 flats, E flat major. This one is going to be A flat major, D flat major, G flat major, everyone's favorite, C flat major. You're not really going to run into keys with 7 sharps or 7 flats, because at that point you have inharmonic equivalents that you'll have easier keys to work with. For example, instead of working with C flat major, it might just be easier to transpose it or write it as B major, because they are inharmonically equivalent. Frankly, I'd rather read 5 sharps than 7 flats, but that's just me. So let's talk briefly about this circle of fifths that I mentioned before. So we'll start with C. C has no sharps and no flats. What this is going to look like, this is going to look like kind of like a clock face, and we're going to go to the right with our sharp keys, increasing by 1 sharp at a time, and to the left we're going to go to the flat side. So let's start with the sharps. 1 sharp, the key with 1 sharp, G. Next one, D. I'm going to write those sharps down. 1 sharp, 2 sharps. Next is A. 3 sharps. E. 4 sharps. B is 5 sharps. Key of F sharp is 6 sharps. Halfway there. Now the flats. F major, that is an F. Looks a little weird, but it is an F. 1 flat. B flat has, it is a flat. Boy, I'm getting sloppy. B flat has 2 flats. E flat is, that's better, 3 flats. A flat, 4 flats. D flat, 5 flats. Now look at that. G flat, inharmonic equivalent to F sharp, 6 flats. So that, my friends, is the circle of fourths and fifths. My sloppy version of it. There's a much clearer version in your textbook, as well as probably many diagrams online if you do a search for key signatures, major scales, or circle of fifths. Hope this helps. Good luck.